Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Football Manager 2020 Project Manchester. Now, this episode is something special because we will finally find out who we will meet in the EFL Cup as well as the Europa League. And first off, we need to, finish off the transfer window. Deadline day is today, and we have a couple hours left. Of course, a top target of ours is Diogo Jota. I believe that's how you pronounce his name after looking it up. But please do remind me if I'm wrong. I'm definitely going to make sure that I check up his name for the fourth episode and get it right. It would be embarrassing if I don't get it right. But anyway, he is on our target, and we seal a deal with a swap for Jesse Lingard, who will move on to Wolves. Just a quick note here, Andreas Pereira does move on to Crystal Palace, so we did get another $20.5 million in our bank account. Jesse Lingard actually denies any contract offer from Wolves, so the move fails, and I decide, you know what, I'm sick of it. Let's see if the Glazers can do anything, although they can't do anything in the real world, but let's hope they can do something here. And they finally sealed the deal. They get Diogo for 70 something million, and I'm like, that's a little overkill, but still, we get the player. So anyway, we move on and the transfer window's over. And I put the pressure on Liverpool here because, as we know, Liverpool is a stunningly great team, and they just, I just felt like it's good to put pressure on them, make them feel the pressure of us breathing down their necks and saying that we expect big things from them. But nonetheless, we move on to the season itself. Opening day, Newcastle versus Man United. Of course, we are favorites to win this, and I'm just starting to think, what if things go down the drain here? But tactically, I think we should be good enough. David De Gea in goal, Twanzebe and Lindelöf in the back, Tagliafico and Wan-Bissaka on the wings. McTominay, Pogba, and Bruno in the middle, Greenwood, Daniel James, and Martial up top. So I'm hoping this team can do bits and get us the victory today. And off the get-go, I just see that our team is dominating regarding shots on target and shots, and it was a really uplifting moment seeing that the team is actually kind of working, but the biggest problem was that we weren't scoring goals, which scoring goals wins games. So it was a bit of a bummer not seeing goals happen. Another great attempt there from the boys. And yeah, I mean, it was just good attempts after good attempts. It was a solid defense. I think the goalkeeper really saved Newcastle numerous times, but we should be doing better. And pretty much the first half was, chances coming begging, and we just couldn't finish. So yeah, first half over, and it's still 0-0. As you can see, our shots and shots on target are insanely high, and I just calmly tell the boys that, I'm far from pleased with the result, and that they need to step up and score a goal somewhere. And again, start of the second half was all about a lot of chances, but no completion. No goals scored. So I decided to switch things up a bit tactically, and I saw that the wings were working pretty well and in our favor. So I decided to use overlaps on the left and right, and trying to use the wings to knock in some balls into the penalty area. So here we are again with that tactical decision, and I just see that things aren't working. So I decide, you know what, it's time for some player changes. Giving Diogo his debut run here as a 65th minute substitute and seeing if he can do anything on the left-hand side, because Daniel James just wasn't really performing. And I decided to bring in the creativity of Juan Mata on the right-hand side. So I'm hoping those two players really do bring something out from the team. Martial with a chance and finds Bruno Fernandes, and there you go. In the 85th minute, we find the opening goal to give us the lead. 1-0 for us. This was a great move, finding Martial on the wing, runs in, goes past one defender, cuts back to Bruno, and Bruno finds the bottom left-hand corner. And 1-0 to us. It was really relieving to see that goal go in, and of course full time happens just after that. 1-0 victory. As you can see, 31 shots and 16 on target. Absolute domination from the team, but we're not clinical enough to find the goals that could secure us a larger margin of a win. And I told them that I was a bit of a let off and that we should be playing better, and most of the players agreed. Moving on to the next game of the season, Aston Villa. Of course, Aston Villa are a difficult team to play against. I don't know. The players at Aston Villa are just insanely good sometimes, and I think this game also has that effect to it that they play better. Martial is slightly injured, picked up a knock in training, I believe, so I decided to give Diogo the chance up top as a striker, and I put him on as a complete forward attacking to see if he can do any damage that way. There is a link between Pogba and McTominay forming, and I wanted to preserve that as much as I could, giving Harry Maguire the run as well, so hopefully we can get some results this way. So pretty much the team that I opted for, continuing to keep this formation. I think in the end I decided David De Gea in goal, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka in the back. McTominay is just sitting in front of them with Pogba and Bruno in front of him in the midfield. James, Greenwood, and Jota up top. I think this would be a solid start, and Rashford himself is also slightly injured from the preseason injury, and I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna let him rest. Maybe I'll bring him on for the Aston Villa game to give him a little run in the game to see how he feels. And Greenwood, out of nowhere, just runs through the whole pitch and goes for goal and leads to a corner. But what a splendid run from Greenwood. Definitely going to be keeping him in the squad for the Premier League. 10 minutes or so in, and I take a look at my tactics, and I wanted some shorter passing, a little tiki-taka football. But I mean, we're on gegenpress anyway, so it's high pressure, quick pace sometimes. But yeah, Aston Villa just score out of nowhere. Samata, what a goal from him. Mengi just finds a midfield, and the midfield just, El Ghazi sends a through ball, and we're beaten immediately. And Harry Maguire was to blame for that. He lost Samata somewhere in the run, and I was just a bit annoyed from that. So I told Harry Maguire to calm down a bit and get in the game, but we'll see how he does. Another good move from us with Bruno, Wan-Bissaka, but we lose possession there from Wan-Bissaka, and another through ball, and El Ghazi finds the net. This is just abysmal. This defending is just not working, and it's a Maguire again who just loses El Ghazi in the middle. As you can see, the ball just goes over Maguire and El Ghazi straight through, and this is worrying sign. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of what Maguire does in the real world too, as he loses a lot of players and we lose a lot of chances and goals that way. So 2-0 at halftime, and I tell the boys that it's really bad that you're playing that bad, and I let them know how frustrated I am with their performance, and that really gives me the cue to bring on Rashford and then change the defense with Tuanzebe, because I think Tuanzebe is performing a lot better than Maguire, and I think he can do the business in the back, solidify the defense. As Tuanzebe finds Shaw, Shaw finds Rashford, and the ball goes over to Diogo, who finds Pogba, and Pogba finds Greenwood for a marvelous volley to give us 1 goal back. We are still 1 goal in deficit, but it was good to see in the 69th minute that we find the net. Pogba with a great ball in. Greenwood times his run perfectly and just scores the goal. As you can see here, yeah, Greenwood just timed it perfectly. The red line is Greenwood, yellow is the defense. Just stunning. I think Greenwood is going to be a star player on the right-hand side, so I'm going to keep him there for a long time in the Premier League. Trying to switch things up a bit, and I give Van de Beek a run, keeping him as a deep-lying playmaker, and then I decide to push Pogba up to be more attacking and to see if there's more creativity that way. But I don't think much happens after that, and we end up losing the match 2-1. A lot better in the second half. As you can see, Oh, actually, we do score a goal, but I think this was disallowed. Yeah, it was disallowed for offside. Take a look at this tight, tight run here. Diogo Jota found himself a tad bit offside, and the ref caught that. So 2-1 loss, one win and one loss to our name in the Premier League so far. Again, but this one was more of a even fight. 11 shots, 9 shots. So it was it was a better performance in the second half, that's for sure to say. But I still voiced my disagreement with the players, saying they needed to step up a bit more. And this leads us to the next game. West Ham against Man United. We're firm favorites against West Ham. And this is the lineup. David De Gea in goal, Tagliafico, Tuanzebe, Lindelöf, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, and the top three of Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood. After James's poor performance in the last two games, there wasn't much that he did, so I decided Rashford can get a run in the game because he was fit and ready to go. So I said, you know what, it's your turn. Really, seriously, starting the game strong, but we can't seem to find the net. And it was not until the 43rd minute that we found the net. And it was actually an own goal. It was quite unfortunate for Fabianski, but if you see, Pogba gets the ball, sends it out wide to Bruno, who's left wide open, and he takes a crack at it. It hits the post and then hits Fabianski in the back and rolls in. I don't know. I think the laws of the game state that it's a Fabianski own goal, but I would lean more towards Bruno Fernandes getting the goal. Another domination in the first half, 9 shots to the one shot they had. So we are dominating, but I need to see more. I need to see more clinical shots on target. So I tell them that. I say that they're doing well, but I expect more from them. Now it come the changes. I see McTominay is a little tired. I mean, he's had a couple runs, 2 full games, so I decided, you know what, it's time to bring in another midfield player, and I try Fred in the CDM position. I see Rashford not having a great game, so I decided to bring Diogo in to see if it can spark some changes. And pretty much it was a good game. A lot of good changes came with those two players, but we still couldn't find a lot of clinical finishing. But Martial, off the bat, again, great goal from a corner. Great ball in from Bruno, looped over, and Martial just stood above everyone else, like towered above the defense and scored that to give us a 2-0 victory by the end of the game. Another domination by us, 16 is it shots and 10 on target, but we can't find the clinical finishing that we require to win games with larger margins. But I am overall happy that we got the win, so a good win. But Tuanzebe is injured, 1 to 2 days, so it's not too big, but it is a bummer that we have to lose a key player. He's a lot better than Maguire, so I'm hoping to keep him now. That is the kind of idea that's going in my head, keeping Tuanzebe and pulling him off the transfer market. Now the Carabao Cup, we tie against Middlesbrough, and it's going to be an exciting one. Wolves against Leeds, and I think in the last bit, yeah, it's a London derby for Arsenal and Tottenham, but we are drawn against Middlesbrough, and it's going to be definitely a hard game. Here comes the draw that we've been waiting for, the Europa League, known as the Euro Cup in the game, and we draw in Group D, and I'm hoping for some easy teams because the Europa League is a little, easier than the Champions League, although it is a difficult European competition. We draw against PSV and Spartak Moscow, and we're waiting the last draw. It's Cluj. It's a Romanian side, but definitely a difficult group to be tied in. McTominay is slightly injured, 3 days out maximum, but that's fine for us. Igalo is undergoing treatment, but he is looking a lot better, more fit to play, so it's a good sign. Now we're up against Wolves. We are slight favorites to win this, but Wolves have been going on a strong spree of games. They've been winning and drawing most of their matches in the last 5, so we are hoping to get a result in this game. However, considering McTominay is injured, I decided to bring in Fred to see if he can play that CDM role. And I'm also thinking of switching things around because of the injury that we're getting. So a lot of players are getting injured. So I decided, you know what, it's time to switch things up and see if we can, minimize the damage on our players and the strain that they're under. So I think I'm making some final changes here, but pretty much the lineup is going to be similar to what you see on the screen. De Gea, Tagliafico, Tuanzebe, Lindelöf, and Wan-Bissaka, Fred, and I think I switched up the midfield a little. And then the striking partnership is Mata and Rashford with Martial up top. I was hoping that the players shine a bit. Some of the players on the transfer market, I was hoping they would shine so that other clubs can come knocking, but also I want to see if they can prove themselves to stay in the squad, like Tuanzebe did. I think Tuanzebe is molding into a great defender, and I'm hoping to keep him. But yeah, Wolves were very dominant this game. It was complete different than last couple games for us. We're usually the ones dominating, but this time around, Wolves are knocking on our front door a lot of times. But you can see here another chance for Wolves. Doherty tries to find her way in, and that was a great looping ball in, and we just found ourselves watching the ball. We're ball watching in the defense. But here's another chance for us. Pogba with a driven shot, but saved by Rui Patricio. So yeah, pretty much the Wolves side is a lot harder to beat in this game, I think. And I think in general they're underrated, I think. Or are they overrated? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I think the Wolves squad is very underrated. But yeah, first half it is pretty tied up regarding stats. Also tied on the scoreline. So possession-wise, 46 and 54 shots on target, pretty similar, 7 and 6. So I'm hoping that we have that spark of brilliance that will bring us above Wolves and score the winning goal sometime in the second half. So I said I expect a little better from the squad, hoping that would fire them up a bit and get us the creativity needed to get a goal. Again, straight off in the second half as well, Wolves were dominant with possession and trying to create chances. A lot more shots on target for them all of a sudden, but I decided to make some changes. I decided to bring on Odion Igalo in the 81st minute, and then I also bring on Bruno Fernandes for that creativity in the midfield. I also brought on Jota earlier in the game, but nothing really happened. It was 0-0 by the end of the game. Again, stats were pretty simple. Stats showed pretty much an equal footing game, but Wolves had a lot more shots on target, so that was a bit disappointing from our end. So I decide, do I need to switch things up? I don't know, but this is where we stand after August. It is officially 1st of September. We sit on 6th place with 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss on 7 points. Liverpool are steaming ahead with 4 wins, no defeats or draws so far. So let's see if we can make some difference in the next episode. We'll be going through the month of September and the fixtures involved there. And I'll see you then. Take care, guys.